In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use Airtable as a complete beginner, step by step. Now, if you've been thinking about using Airtable to organize projects, manage data, and collaborate with your team, but aren't sure where to begin, you're in the right place. This video will walk you through the entire process from start to finish. We'll start by creating your Airtable account, setting up a base, and understanding how Airtable works. Then we'll build tables, create fields, add records, and learn how to connect information between different tables. After that, we'll explore different views, create forms, and build a simple interface to organize and visualize our data more effectively. We'll also create a basic automation, learn how to share our base with others, and explore some of the most useful features beginners should know. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started. First, open your browser and go to Airtable. Here, click on the Get Started for Free button and you'll be taken to the sign up page. From here, you can create your account using single sign on Google or Apple. In this example, I'll continue with Google. Once you've signed in, Airtable will ask you a few quick onboarding questions. Simply select the answers that best match your needs and continue through the setup process. After completing these questions, Airtable will finish setting up your account and take you directly to the Airtable dashboard, where you can start creating and managing your projects, databases, and workflows. Now, think of a workspace like a folder for your team or business, and a base like one complete project or system. For example, you can have one base for project management, one for content planning, one for customer tracking, and one for inventory. For this beginner tutorial, we're going to create a simple project management base. On the home screen, click on this plus icon. Now, give your base a name. After that, click Create Base. At this point, you'll see two options. You can either create your base with Airtable AI or build it manually from scratch. For this tutorial, I'll choose Build It Yourself. Once the base opens, you'll see something that looks like a spreadsheet. But Airtable is more powerful than a normal spreadsheet because every row is a record, every column is a field, and you can connect information together. By default, Airtable will create a table for you. Let's rename this table. At the top, where it says Table 1, click the small arrow beside it, then click Rename Table. Type any name you want and press Enter. Now we'll set up fields for our task tracker. The first field is usually the main name of the record. Let's rename it to Task Name. Click the field name, choose Edit Field, type task name, and click Save. Now let's add a few tasks manually. In the first row, I will type Create Website Homepage. In the second row, write blog article. In the third row, design Instagram post. We don't have the fourth row, so I will just click on this plus icon and our row will be created. And in the fourth row, review client feedback. Now we need more details for each task. First, I'll drag the status field and place it right next to the task name field. This way, the status of each task will appear immediately beside the task name, making it much easier to view and manage task progress at a glance. After that, click on the status field and select Edit Field. This will open the field settings where you can customize the status options to fit your workflow. For example, you can add options such as To Do, In Progress, Done, and Waiting. Once you've added and arranged the options the way you want, simply click Save to apply the changes and update the field. Next, I'll remove any fields that I don't need. For example, I don't want to use the Notes field, so I'll click on the field header, open the Field Options menu, and select Delete Field. Once I confirm the action, the field will be removed from my grid view, helping keep the table clean and organized. Similarly, go through the remaining fields and delete any that you don't need. This will help keep your table clean and focused on the information that matters most. Now, let's add a new field. To do that, click on the plus icon at the end of your columns and select Single Line Text. Next, enter a name for the field. In this example, I'll call it Priority. You can also change the field type before creating it. Simply click on the Field Type dropdown and you'll see a list of available options. Since I want predefined priority levels, I'll choose Single Select instead. Now, add the options for the field as Low, Medium, and High. Since this is a priority field, these options will help us quickly identify the importance of each task. Once you've added all the options, click Create, and just like that, your priority field will be added to the table and ready to use. Now let's add our final field. Click on the plus icon and select single line text. After that, enter a name for the field. In this example, I'll call it due date. Once you've entered the field name, simply click Create and the new field will be added to your table. Now that we've added all of our fields, it's time to fill in the details for each task. We'll assign the appropriate status, assignee, priority, and due date to keep everything organized. First, go to the status column and click on a cell. A drop-down menu will appear where you can select the current status of the task, such as to do, in progress, done, or waiting. Repeat this process for all of your tasks. Next, move to the assignee field. Here, you can assign a task to yourself. Or if you're working with a team, click Invite User and enter their email address to assign the task to them. After that, go to the priority field and choose the appropriate priority level for each task, such as low, medium, or high. This helps you quickly identify which tasks need the most attention. Finally, use the due date field to set a deadline for each task. Simply enter or select the date by which the task should be completed. Once you've filled in these details, your task tracker will be fully organized and much easier to manage. At this point, we have created a basic task management table. We have task names, statuses, priorities, due dates, and assignees. Now let's understand records. Each row in Airtable is called a record. To open a record fully, hover your cursor on a row. Then click the expand icon. A detailed view will open from the side. Here, you can see all the information about that task in one place. You can also add comments, upload files, and update fields without looking at the full table. This is useful when working with clients or team members. Now, let's create another table. At the top, click Add or Import, then choose Start from Scratch. After that, name this table Team Members. In this table, rename the first field to Name. Now add a few people. For example, type any names of your team member. Once that's done, I'll start by deleting all of the columns that I don't need to keep the table clean and organized. Once I've cleaned up the table, I'll add a new field called Roles. To add the Roles field, simply click on the plus icon at the top and select single line text. Next, enter a name for the field, such as Roles. After that, click on the Field Type drop-down menu and change the field type from single-line text to single select. This will allow you to create a list of predefined role options. Now, add the roles you want to use, such as designer, writer, uploader, and manager. Once you've added all of your options, click Create, and the Roles field will be added to your table. You can now assign a specific role to each record with just a few clicks. Now, go to the Roles field and click on any cell within that column. A drop-down menu will appear displaying all the role options you created earlier. From there, simply select the appropriate role for that team member. Now we want to connect our Tasks table with our Team Members table. Go back to the Tasks table. Click the plus icon to add a field. For the field type, choose Link to another record. Select the Team Members table, then give the name to your field. After that, click Create. Now, inside each task, you can link the correct team member. For example, assign Design Instagram posts to any of these members. This is one of the most powerful parts of Airtable. Instead of repeating information again and again, you can connect tables together. Now let's talk about views. Views allow you to see the same data in different ways without changing the original table. Right now, we are in Grid View, which looks like a spreadsheet, but let's create a Kanban view for task management. On the left side, near Views, click Create New View. Choose Kanban from the options. Name it whatever you like and click Create New View. Airtable will ask which field you want to stack cards by. Choose Status from these options. You'll now see your tasks organized in columns like To Do, In Progress, Waiting, and Done. This is very useful because you can drag a task from one column to another. For example, if Create Website Homepage is now being worked on, simply drag it from In Progress to Done. Airtable will automatically update the status field for that task. Now let's create a calendar view. Click Create New View again from the top left, and this time choose Calendar. Name your view whatever you like and click Create New View. Now, Airtable will ask you to choose a date field for this view. You can either select an existing date field from the list or create a brand new one if needed. In this example, I'll use the date field that we already created. Now your tasks will appear on a calendar based on their deadlines. This is helpful when you want to see what's due this week or this month. Next, let's create a filtered view. Go back to Grid View, click Create New View, and choose Grid from the options. After that, name your field as High Priority and click on Create New View. After that, click on Filter from the top toolbar. Here, Airtable allows you to quickly create filters by describing what you want to see. In this example, I'll simply type High. Airtable will automatically understand the request and create a filter that shows only tasks with a high priority. Once you're satisfied with the filter settings, click Apply. Now, this view will only show tasks with high priority. This is useful when your base becomes larger and you only want to focus on important work. Next, let's talk about forms. Forms are useful when you want other people to submit information into your Airtable base without giving them full access to your workspace. For example, let's create a task request form. At the top or side menu, click Forms. Here, you'll see several options for getting started. You can build your base with AI, build it yourself from scratch, or browse through the available templates to use a pre-built setup. I will select this one. Then you have to choose the table that you want to use. After that, give your form a name. After giving the name, click on Create Form. Now Airtable will create a form using the fields from your tasks table. Now choose which fields you want people to fill out. Keep task name, priority, due date, and any notes field if you have one. You can hide internal fields like status or assignee if you don't want people to control them. Once the form looks good, click Publish at the top right. Airtable will give you a form link. You can copy this link and send it to clients, team members, or anyone who needs to submit a request. When someone fills out the form, a new record will automatically appear inside your tasks table. Now let's talk about interfaces. Interfaces are like custom dashboards you can build on top of your Airtable data. Instead of showing users the full database, you can create a clean page where they only see the information they need. Click Interfaces from the top area. Once again, you'll have the option to build the interface with AI or build it yourself. Choose accordingly, and then select Build an Interface. Next, enter a name for your interface and choose an icon that best represents it. After that, select a layout from the available options. In this example, I'll choose Simple Dashboard. Next, select the table that you want to use as the data source for your interface. Once you've selected the table, click Finish, and Airtable will automatically create your interface, ready for further customization and use. Now add elements like a list of tasks, a chart by status, or a filtered section showing overdue tasks. This gives you a more professional view of your data, especially when sharing with team members. Now let's create a simple automation. Automations help you save time by making Airtable perform actions automatically. Click Automations at the top of your base, and you will be taken to this page. First, choose a trigger. A trigger is the event that starts the automation. For this example, choose When Record matches conditions. After that, select the table that you want used for this automation. Now set the condition. For example, when status is done. This means the automation will run whenever a task becomes completed. Now click Add Action. Choose Send Email or Create Record depending on what you want. For this beginner example, let's choose Send Email. Now enter the email details. Then, in the subject, write Task Completed. In the message field, write something like, a task has been marked as completed. You can also insert dynamic information from the record, such as the task name, assignee, or due date. Before turning it on, click Test Automation at the top. Then it will ask you to select a record, so simply click on this and select any record that you want. After that, click on Run Automation. Airtable will check whether everything works correctly. If the test is successful, simply click Turn on Automation from the top left. Now, whenever a task status changes to completed, Airtable can automatically send an email notification. This is a simple example, but automations can do much more. You can update records, send Slack messages, create tasks, notify team members, or connect Airtable with other apps. Now let's quickly talk about sharing. Click Share at the top right of your base. Here you can invite team members by email. You can give them different permission levels, such as read-only, commenter, editor, or creator. If someone only needs to view the data, don't give them full editing access. This keeps your base safe and organized. You can also share specific views instead of the whole base. So that's a complete beginner tutorial for Airtable in 2026. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.